And I think we're live, so it's morning from me and Simon again. So, morning, Simon.
Good morning, Andy, and good morning, anybody joining us on YouTube. Hopefully, going through to Facebook. They've changed the way they're doing it a little bit, so we're hoping this is going live to Facebook. We will see, but definitely going out to YouTube.
Yeah, we may be, we maybe not. We don't know. We don't know until we try, do we?
It's the first time we tried this because the link to Facebook groups has changed. It's Facebook being a bit awkward with this, but there we go. So what we're going to be covering today is basically what's coming up this month. So I think Andy's going to be pinning these to the Facebook pages if it works the same way.
Do you want me to go and pin them?
You can do if you want. So I just obliging you to do that.
Yeah, I should go and try and find them.
Brilliant. So I'm going to the next month a little bit. We are going to be doing a session at a later date about what to do when there's not as much football on. Now, this year, as we'll mention later, the gap is filled quite nicely for about a month when you normally have little or no football. We've got the Euros coming up as well. So what we'll do is we'll go through the different things that are coming up. Some offers are at the moment and having a look at the tools. I'm not going to go into much detail about how the tools work because we've done that before and we want to keep this kind of a bit more concise. Please feel free to ask any questions that you might have. We will answer those if we can. I think we might be able to put the questions up on the live, but because of the changes, it might not work. So if we can't, we'll just read them and we'll go through them. So we'll play it by ear a little bit. It's the first time I've done it in this new way. Okay, so I'm just going to go through a few of the, I think we're not going through to the Facebook groups at the moment, apparently, unfortunately. So we will try to get that sorted. But I'm just going to go through some of the things that are coming up this month. So one of the things we've got the Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk fight, which is for the undisputed heavyweight champion, basically of the world. First time apparently this is going to be an undisputed belt for basically across all four of the different belts. Basically, first time there's going to be this sort of fight. So both fights are undefeated. Tyson Fury's had 35 fights. I am reading this. Had 35 fights. He's had one draw, 34 wins. So undefeated, just that one draw. I'll let him off with that one. He's obviously very, very good. Alexander Usyk, 21 fights, 21 wins. So also exceptionally good fights. So it should be an amazing event. So we'll see how that goes. So that there should be some really nice offers on that. They're both, basically right at the top of their game, and it's the heavyweight championship. It's one of the heavyweight fight. It's basically one of the biggest fights that you can have. So that should be some good ones. It's the 18th of May. It's in Saudi Arabia. We've got the domestic season. Football's finishing fairly soon. They've got the English Championship finishes tomorrow on Saturday. And you've got the Premier League. You've got a couple more weeks of the Premier League. Finishes on Sunday, the 19th of May. And then you've got the UEFA Cup finals and the stages before that. You've got the Conference League, the final on the 29th of May, which is in Athens. The Europa League final, the 22nd of May at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. And the UEFA Champions League, so the big one, is the final is on the 1st of June at Wembley Stadium, which is in London, in case you weren't aware. Also got the FA Cup final, which is on Saturday, the 25th of May. So last year, it was the first time that there was the Manchester Derby in the FA Cup final. Thanks to Wikipedia. And this is between Man City and Man United. So Manchester City, narrow win of 2-1 last year. This year, it's the second time there's going to be a Manchester Derby between Manchester City and Manchester United. So it's a rematch. So we'll see how that goes. And that's the 25th of May. So normally some decent offers on there. Also, you can use the various tools. They have price boosts and you can do things like two-ups, etc. on these different leagues. So really nice to have that. You've got playoffs coming up. You've got the playoff for the lower divisions. So any division other than the Premier League, they've got the playoffs coming up. And it might be something on the playoff finals, maybe not. But again, there are plenty of matches to bet on. And then you've got the Euros coming up in Germany this year, which starts on the 14th of June in Munich, which is the Germany versus Scotland game. That's the only game on that day. England's first game is Serbia versus Serbia in Gelsenkirchen, apparently, on the 16th of June. And then it finishes in Berlin, the final, and the final on 14th of July. There is a bit of a gap. And then the next Premier League season runs from the 17th of August until the 25th of May next year. So that's what's basically happening. That's what's coming up. There's also the Horse Racing Festival at Newmarket, the Guineas Festival, which I think Andy would probably like to talk about. So I'll pass you over to Andy.
Well, the first thing I'd like to talk about is Usyk versus Fury. I mean, I think most boxing fans have been waiting for that fight. Or Fury to have a really good scrap for 2 years. This one's really anticipated by me. But I will go back to the same my old granddad used to use, which is a good big one will always beat a good little one. And there really is a size difference between Fury and Usyk, because I think Fury comes in at something like 6'8", 6'9". And Usyk is nowhere near that. He's much a smaller man.
I think he's 6'3". He's tiny. He's only 6'3".
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly small, but he's being towed over by an Irish giant. I mean, the man is massive. And I wasn't a great Tyson Fury fan at first, but he did have his issues, his problems with his mental health, his alcoholism. The drugs that he went through, and he really has come out a reformed character, and I really have warmed to him over the past 5 or 6 years. So there will be with fights like this, you will get a lot of bookies, Paddy, Sky, Betfred. They'll all be offering different boosts where you'll be able to lock in some profit, like on round betting or Tyson Fury to win by knockout. Or Tyson Fury to win by decision. Sky Bet will always have one that's almost like a William Hill Epic Odds, where you'll be able to lock in a decent £5 or £6 profit off a £10 bet. They're quite good like that. They just want to draw you in, just so you're getting, so that you're betting more money on their sides. So they always put offers like that out on events like this as little loss leaders. To be drawing just the general mug punters in, but it is something that we can exploit, and our profit boost tool that will be showing those on the day of the fight. Obviously, it's not going to show them now; it's far too far in the future. I mean, it's 2 weeks Saturday, I think, the fight, but that will be showing them up at the time. I don't know if you just want to give people a quick pointer to where to find that new tool, and then I can talk a bit about the horse racing.
Yeah, no problem at all. So which tool was it? I was just having a look at something else. Profit Boost Tracker. Yeah, no problem at all. I was just going to look at it to share this, just the window. So I will share this. Hopefully, this will share here. So can you see the top sports offers there on the screen, Andy?
Yeah, I can see them. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so tools basically. You can find price boosts on the forum. They always post on the forum. Price Boost Tracker is one of the pro tools, which is really nice. It's just a really nice laid out way of doing it. Not a massive amount at the moment, but as Andy says, big events like the Fury Usyk fight, there will probably be loads of boosts there. Also, lots of boosts for things like the other events I've been talking about, the football events. So there's a nice one at the moment. The max stake is going to vary from person to person, but they set it £25 for regular accounts. It's Lorient to have 6 or more shots on target versus Lon on it's today. Check the date. So that's that one there. Boost odds of 10, exchange odds of 9. BetDAC, so nice sort of £2.78 profit there. So a really nice one if you can get the £25 stake on. Another one here, a few smaller ones down here, and then you've got some Unibet boosts which are half decent. Now, the unknown stakes. So basically, this profit here is unknown. It will vary depending on your stake. So it looks quite modest, but sometimes you can get a really nice stake on these boosts. So yeah, your mileage may vary with these ones, but Price Boost Tracker is a really nice way of getting these. You've got links to the bookmaker and the exchange as well, and really sort of breaks down nicely. You've got the calculator as well. You can just go straight to the calculator and work it out. Change your stake, obviously, if you don't have the £25 stake. So that's Price Boost Tracker. Other tools we've got the 2Up Master. So the different events I was talking about, whether it's the playoffs or the cup finals that are coming up, the end of the Premier League Championship, you can do 2Up bets on these ones. Mainly it's Bet365. Unfortunately, Paddy Power pulled out of the 2Ups. There are other exchanges that do it. The downside is with these ones, if I reset that and just choose, so select all of them and remove Bet365, just to give you a bit of a reality about this, apply that. You can see there are some modest profits here in bar one. The other ones are not plus EV bets at the moment. The odds might improve. The odds need to be quite close to make these profitable. Bet365 tend to have better odds than the other ones. But bar one, you've got 101% EV. Might be worth doing. I tend to be looking for the blue EVs rather than the ones that are just, marginal 101%. Probably wouldn't go for that myself, but there's, potentially a little bit of profit there. But mainly it's about Bet365 with the 2Ups. So if you've got a healthy Bet365 account and got the offer, it's a great tool. It's much easier than finding them just by looking at close odds, because it factors in. I'm going to go into a great deal about detail about how it works, but basically it looks at the chance of the full turnaround. We've got an algorithm to work this out, and it comes up with it depends on the odds, how much profit you make if there's a full turnaround, and this is the EV percentage here. So the green ones are fantastic ones to go for, and the blue ones are decent as well. Yellow ones probably ones to watch rather than to go for. One thing I would say, personally speaking, I wouldn't go for Real Salt Lake versus Sporting Kansas in the Major League Soccer. I'd stick to kind of your championship. If you're in doubt, just hover over it. So this one's a great one to go for, but it is US Major League Soccer. Not sure how many people bet on that in the UK, but it might be a bit of a flag on your account. So probably better for me to stick to things like the Championship, the Premier League, Champions League, the the big European leagues like the Bundesliga and La Liga, things like that. So that's 2Up Master, and there should be some really nice results on there for these different events that are coming up and the footballing events. Right, over to Andy.
Yeah, I think we'll have a look at the Lucky 15. I've done okay over the past 2-3 days at Punchestown. I did put one in the Lucky 15 thread we've got on Facebook, which is one I took on Unibet yesterday. And Unibet has a strange way of putting up your results. Anything that places, it makes it looks like it's a winner. So I only had one winner yesterday. I had one come nowhere, but I had 2 places. And that gave that for a £15 stake, that was just over £115 back, I think. There was another 5 yesterday, one finished in loss. But the other 4, they were all in profit to the tune of like 10, 15, £20. Nothing major. But yesterday I was so busy faffing around with my car. I did forget to do each way no lay yesterday till about 3:30, and I just bobbed on. And there was one horse that was sticking out a mile. It wasn't massive odds. It was like 7 or 8 to 1. Put £10 each way on it, which would be normal each way no lay stake. And that I watched the race. It absolutely romped home. But let's have a look at the Lucky 15, and I'll show you what I do on for Lucky 15. So
do you want me to share, or are you going to show yourself?
Well, you can share, and then we'll run it through it if you want, mate. And we'll bring up Sky.
Let's have a look. So back to this, we've got tools, and then it's the lucky finder. Now, at the moment, it's blank. First thing I would do for this, for most people, is to set your max win EV to 100, not 120, 100. And then we go for Sky Bet. Let's have a look. So Sky Bet here, and there we go. So what are we looking for here, Andy, when you're picking them?
Right, first one is I want to alter that start time. I want to alter that start time to just the next 10 hours. I don't want the lucky 15 going over to the next day. That's just my preference. Some people don't mind it. It's just a nice habit. I want to know where I am at the end of the day, profit wise. Otherwise, it's just going to lead to confusion. Confusion on my part. You might be better at tracking things than I am. So for me, I really want to be getting everything finishing on the same day. And now for me, because the Sky Bet I use, it's been terribly bashed up and abused over the years. So I would take that max EV of 100 out. I don't mind taking a win arb on my Sky account because it is already gubbed. But if you've got a healthy account, I would always advise put that in. You don't want to be taking arbs if you don't need to. But on this one, because it is a gubbed account, I'm quite happy taking them. Now the one that's on screen at the moment, although it's got an EV of 119, which is really, really good, it's really healthy. Those overall odds for me, they're just a little bit too high. I really want to keep those to round about 50,000 or under. It's not saying that they won't come in. It's just more likely to come in when you have these high-priced horses that that are 50 to 101 in. It is more difficult for them to actually place. But if we've got this one in the second race here, the 16-15 and Punchestown. Now they're paying 6 places on that one. I would have no worry about taking that horse below that one. We've got Chinese Spirit at Musselburgh again because Sky being so generous with their extra places, they're paying 4. That would be one. If I was by my Sky phone, I would be taking that one because it's only a smidge under the 120. The extra places being played are really generous for all those races. Every race has got at least one extra place. The 16-15, it might be a bigger field, but they are paying 6. So that's definitely one that would really interest me. I'd be on that one for sure.
And then it's just a case of flicking through them. We've got some a bit lower there, 113, but sometimes you need to click a few times on search just to keep cycling through. There we go. Is that close up to 120 for you, Andy?
Yeah, I did one. I did one this morning that was over 100,000 odds, which is sort of like going against what I've just said. But the EV on it was 153. Wow. So I felt I had to take a little. I thought I had to have a little go on it. I think I've only done like 20p each way on it, so it was only like a £6 stake. But the returns were monumental. So you've got it's just a case you've got to be in it to win it. If you don't buy a ticket, you're never going to win the lottery. But again, this one's more of a lower odds one. But again, you've got decent places being paid. The only one you'd look at that one and think, we might have a bit of job getting that one in the frame is Hardened in the 16-15 at Punchestown, but they are paying 6 places. So could it also 22 to 1, getting 6 places? Yeah, of course it did. I mean, the amount of high price winners that have been at Punchestown over the last few days, it's incredible. There's been some good horses going. A couple of favourites of Romtown, but there's been 50 to 1ers, 40 to 1ers placing pretty regular all over the festival, and we've seen the results that have been published in the Lucky 15 thread. I know a few members had good wins yesterday. So this one again, this one, it's one I put on because we've got 6, 4, 4 places. So it is giving you extra chance of those landing. It is one of the things that I'll always look for is that the places being offered. Like if there was a race with only 7 runners and there was one in there that was 100 to 1 and there was only paying 2 places, that might put me off. So these places paid that you see on the right hand side, that's always a good indicator for me. But then there is got to be, I don't know how many people, how many lucky 15s people are placing. Some people might just place like 5, 6, 7, 8 a day, like I do. Some people place a lot more. I know some people place 20, 30 a day, and they have great success doing it. It's just that I really haven't got the time to do that many. But one thing I would say, if you're only doing a handful, then this horse, the first horse, I know we're going back to it again, Hardwired. If I was doing, say, 6 on this Bashed Up Sky, I'd probably only include that horse twice. So if you can show our members how you can just remove that horse, and then you can only have that in it's not going to appear for you again.
Yeah, so basically, just remove the horse. You can click X like that, and it removes the horse so that so you place the bet, and then you remove the horse, and then if you do search, you have a look at this. You can see Hardwired. So removed horses, Hardwired. You can click it, delete it to put it back again if you need to. But that's basically how you do it. To avoid betting on the same horse again and again, which is going to look a bit dodgy on your account if you're going to have the same horse, perhaps look a bit dodgy, same horse, lots and lots of different lucky 15s. So when you do the search again, Hardwired should not show up again. Keep flicking through them. I'm just looking at the left. You can see Hardwired is no longer coming up. Let's say you put a bet on Spirit of Legend as well. Another 415 punches down one, same race. Click that one. So Spirit of Legend as well should not show up. Again, it's you've got the 2 different horses there that you can see which ones you've removed. So really, really nice. Yeah, just sort of flick through them. And there's plenty to be getting on with. Some of the overall EVs are a bit small here. So you're probably looking at more like 120% plus, ideally, and under 50,000 total odds as a guide. Just as a reminder, look, if we have covered how it works in quite good depth previous lives. You can find them on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, or if you ask us about them, we can find you links for them. Get in touch with us on Facebook or customer support, and we can guide you towards where the old Facebook lives are about these and YouTube lives. But basically, with the Lucky 15, what you're doing is you're placing the Lucky Find, you're placing an each way Lucky 15. So there's a win and a place bet. So there's basically made up of 30 different bets. So if you do just to keep the math simple, do a £1 stake. It's quite a high stake for a Lucky 15, especially each way. You'd place 30 bets, 30 £1 bets on each of these horses to win, each of the horses to place, and then all possible win and place bets on every possible double. So Leo De Vega and Gino Drummer is one double. Leo De Vega Yokohama is another one. Leo De Vega Brother Dave is another one. So all the different possible doubles and trebles as well. So these first 3 horses, last 3 horses, all different combinations, and the fourfold with place bets and win bets. That makes it 30 different bets. You don't need to do it yourself. You just basically, you go on, you select the 4 horses. Let's say you go to Sky Bet, you go to the 4 races. It's quite quick to do it. You kind of put Love De Vega in, Gino Drummer Boy, Yokohama, Brother Dave, put those in your bet slip. You tick the each way box under the Lucky 15 section. You put your stake in. The bookie automatically multiplies that by 30. So you can have a look at your total stake. And then you just place the bet. And it automatically places all of these different bets for you. So you don't need to individually put these different bets on. The point really is that with a Lucky 15, it's not like an accumulator. You don't need all 4 horses to win or all 4 horses to place. You will get a return of some kind, which may be less than your stake, often will be less than your stake, but you'll get a return of some kind if any of the horses either wins or places. So it's going to be relatively rare that none of your horses will either win or place, but it will happen. But the more that place, the more that win, and the better odds they've got, the better the return you get. And obviously, you need to get your return higher than your stake. So
yeah, the one I won just over £100 on yesterday. There was only one winner and two places. The fourth one was actually a non-runner. So it just shows you don't need two winners or three winners or four winners to make a profit. And the one winner wasn't particularly high priced. I think only about 6 or 7 to 1. It's just that the ones that placed. I think the one was a price that took at 33 to 1 early in the morning, and the other one was placed, and I think that was about 25. It might have been 25 to 1. Again, that was an early morning price. But these are ridiculously easy. As Simon said, these are really quick to put on. I managed to get about 5 of these on at just after 10 o'clock, just as we were starting some prep for this, and each one took me possibly 1 minute to get on. It's a lot simpler than playing around with the bet builder helper, because really all the instructions are there in front of you. It's just a case of put that horse in your lucky 15, put your stake in, select each way, and away you go. Wait for the race and wait for the results.
Yeah, there's no laying bets with this. It's basically long-term advantage play that we're doing. We're taking advantage of the fact that the EV, the expected value, is greater than 100%. So the way the EV works is that this is about 110%. It basically gives you 10% of your total Lucky 15 stake as profit on average. Now, it's going to vary a huge amount from bet to bet. You won't make exactly 10% profit on every bet you do. There's 110% EV. It doesn't work like that. It's a bit like casino offers where you've got the EV. As long as it's plus EV, you will make decent profits in the long run. Quite a high variance on it, so make sure you adjust your stakes so that you can take the losses when you get them. So you can just adjust that. As Andy said, with the really high odds horse he had total overall odds of about 100,000. So he just lowered his stake basically because the returns are going to be huge anyway. If you have a winning horse that's high odds amongst your results there, or even a placing horse at really high odds. So you can lower your stakes if the overall odds are higher. You can do these sort of things to adjust according to situation. Another good thing with the Lucky Finder is you've got Sky Bet, you've got all these different bookies. We've got a list of them which we can send you if you wanted to get in touch with us on support. We've basically got a copy of this. So there are loads of different bookies. You can do Lucky 15s with each of these. Normally getting results with them. And you can also choose the race courses that you want to go for. But as Andy says, good thing to do is to set the start time to within 10 hours is a good one to go for. So you're not going for tomorrow's races, for example. So yeah, straight away you can see Betfred, the very first one that's come up, better than any of the ones I've seen on Sky Bet. So overall EV is 130%. On this one, 18,000 odds. Absolutely amazing one to go for. So not all of them are going to be that good. Just by chance, the first one was really good. And I can't find another one. There's another reasonable one, about 120%. But it's just a case of flicking through them. Just clicking until you find another decent one like this one. So that absolutely, there's loads to be getting on with. It's a really nice, simple tool to be coming up with. To be using basically. So yeah, so there you go. And as Andy said, if you're gubbed, you can just set that not to 100%, and you get some win arbs coming in as well. Oh, somewhere maybe like this one, which helps you to find better EV bets. Sorry, Andy.
A question often asked by our members that say, like, when's the best time to place a Lucky 15? There really is no best time. There's no time where I'm going to get up every morning and say, right, I've got to get up and put my Lucky 15s on because it's 9 o'clock. Yesterday, it was just after 9 because I think it was Paddy Power that they don't start paying best odds guaranteed till 9 o'clock. So it makes sense just to place them after 9, just in case you do get any potential best odds. But with my Sky Bet, because that's so bashed and mashed up, I can literally put them on for 5 days in advance. They're never going to pay me best odds on a Gubbed account. So as a rule, say after 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, have a quick look. If there's nothing popping up, pop back in half an hour or an hour's time and have another spin through, because it's very rare if you hit the search button 20 times that you don't get one over 120% or even 130%. It's just a case of just keep on flicking that button, and the big EVs will come through.
And if you don't find one, find a different bookie you've got an account with and search through them. And yeah, it's going to vary depending on the bookies and the odds. You can see Betways aren't great, so you might just decide not really going to work on Betway. This one's half decent, probably not worth going for. So just go for a different bookie. Have a flick through, see what else is available. And there you go. So this one's this is bar one. That's a nice one. Straight off. I've got in fact, I've not set that to 100, but there is no win arbs anyway there. But yeah, so there's loads basically, loads available.
Let's have a look at. Could you just flick up Bet365 and see what they're doing today? Because normally I'd advise steer well clear of Bet365 on your midweek horses, but today we have got televised racing. It is the start of the Guineas meeting, so we've got televised racing from Newmarket. So I will be placing a couple of Bet365 ones later because I do heavily abuse my Bet365. But in bookies' eyes, a lucky 15 is one of the most muggiest bets you'll ever put through, because it's what Joe Public does in the bookies every day. The chance for a small stake for a big win is what pulls your average punter in. And with us, for us, seeing all the EVs, we know we've got the edge over the bookie by just placing these bets. They may win, they may not, but we've got the edge in placing them. And long term, you will win.
Yeah, so this one, it only took me a few clicks to get this one. Again, I got max win EV to 100%, so no win arbs here. The win prices are pretty good. These percentages are fairly high. The place EVs are very good. That's where the value comes. Overall EV of 130 odd percent, about 20,000 overall odds. So a really, really good one to go for then. Didn't take long to find it. So yeah, there's plenty to be had with Lucky Finder.
See, that's one I'd really be interested in. That one, we've got over 130%. The odds to 21,000. So that's well under that 50,000 barrier. And the only horse there that looks like, that might have a bit of trouble getting in the frame is Captain's Nephew. It's a 33 to 1 shot. But like I was saying before, it's a Punchestown, but they are paying 5 places. It's not like it's a 33 to 1 shot and it's got to get in the top 3. All it's got to do is get in the top 5. The first one looks like it's probably the favourite, Goby Street. The second one, okay, it's odds of 10, but again, they're paying 4 places. And the last one, Janjo, how do you say it? Simon, help me out.
Django.
There we go, Django. Okay, so it's odds of 8 to 1, but again, you've got 4 places to go at. So that would be one I'll be placing on my healthy Bet365. That's a nice one, that one.
Yeah, absolutely lovely one. Right, so shall we go to? I don't know if we've got any. We have got some questions.
We've got loads of questions.
All from YouTube. So I think we're not managing to go through to the group. So apologies if you're watching this on the replay and trying to watch it on the groups. We will get this sorted if we can. It's just there's been a change in the way that things have happened.
Good old Zuckerberg.
Oh yeah. So in the meantime, as I said, if you watch it on the replay, then YouTube might be the better place to watch this. Our YouTube channel always has this on, so it's a fallback. If you're not getting it on the group, we will try our hardest to get it on the group properly. So next one to go for. Are we okay to switch to Extra Plays Master? Have a bit of a look at that.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
Let's go for it. So I'm in full lay mode at the moment, which is what we advise people to start with, certainly. And some people will just do full lay mode all the time. And you've also got no lay mode, which is a much higher variance option where you're just basically not laying your bets as it sounds. It's a lot easier to do no lay, but obviously because you're not laying it, if you will often lose your full stake. So it's something to be aware of. It's quite high variance, so adjust your stakes accordingly. Maybe go for full lay mode instead, or to start with at least. So yeah, I've got some nice ones here. Again, the green ones are the really good ones. The blue ones are decent. Orange ones, probably ones to watch. And yeah, so some decent ones. I wouldn't go for everything just because it's over 100% EV, because it's very marginal. There's very little margin there that you've got. These ones are much better. Again, so if I go for the remove win arbs, apply that, and then we get rid of all the infinite implied odds. So we remove all the ones where the back odds at the bookie are higher than the lay odds for the win at the exchange. Just better for account health. You've already gubbed. I'm not sure how much difference it makes. Andy, what would you go for? Would you remove win arbs on gubbed accounts?
Gubbed accounts, yeah. I've always told people, once you gub, just smash them for as much as you can.
So don't worry about win arbs then.
Yeah. Because I mean, the bookies, they're no fools. They will stake restrict you once you've had a couple of winners by taking arbs. But by taking the arbs, you're taking the best possible value. So yeah, on a gubbed account, just take them. Yeah, take them. Yeah,
so quite a few in Newmarket on the Guineas Festival at the moment, but also got some on the others. Some of these, I think some of these are also ITV Racing. I'm not certain, but
yeah, there is. Yeah, Punchestown's been wicked the past couple of days, but today they've got smaller fields, and they've got a couple of real hot things out today. Real dead certs. I think there's 2 horses out. There are 4 to 1 on, which really shouldn't get beaten. So with those being involved in a race, it's really taking one of the potential extra places that you want your horse to come in out of play. So those might be races to avoid, if at all possible.
Yeah. So I mean, what people often say, well, how do you pick the horses from here? I mean, my view is to go for the ones at the top, basically, and not really worry too much about the other information that you can see. That's kind of the general idea. So the EV percentage is the most important thing. It's the percentage of profit you'll make on average on your bet. So 110% EV, you will make 10% of your stake, your total stake, as profit on average. So let's say you do £100 stake, quite a high stake, £50 each way bet, it would be £100 total stake, and you'd have a £10.40 profit on average each time you did it. Now that's a huge stake, so you would generally go for much lower stakes, but that's just to make the maths easier. The EP chance tells you how the chance, that basically the percentage chance that the horse is going to finish in that particular, in one of the extra places. So that you can see these two very, very similar EVs, but the second horse has almost a 1 in 4 chance of hitting the extra place, whereas the top horse, because of the much higher odds, got a much smaller chance of landing in the place. They're both, in the long term, equally good bets, but this one's a lot more likely to pay out than the other one. So that's for information, really. Do you look at this at all, Andy? Do you adjust your stakes at all based on the odds of the horses?
Not really. Not really. So I really want to be making, from an extra place, I want to be making anywhere between 200 to 300 pounds. So if the horse is 8 to 1, mistakes are going to be a lot higher than they are if it's one that's going out at 3 to 1. So I'm really staking to win between 200 and 300 pounds per extra places.
Yeah. So if you click on that one, you can see if your horse lands in the extra place, you'll win £74.1. So you can adjust your stake accordingly. So if I go to, let's say,
35, 40 pound each way, something like that.
So this is Andy, who's very experienced. He's got loads of experience with this. Not necessarily something that you'll all want to go for. Certainly to start with, you can adjust your stakes according to your own tolerance on taking losses. So basically, if the horse doesn't place, as they often won't, if the horse doesn't hit the extra place, then you'll make an £8.7 loss. So you just need to be aware of that. Staking to win £295. So it's about in the ballpark of what Andy was saying. But you could change it. You could say, well, I'm going to stake to win £100 or thereabouts. So you change your stake to a £15 each way, £30 total stake, and you can see that the qualifying loss goes down, and obviously the extra place profit goes down as well. So you can adjust things. That's a good thing about it. Obviously, not completely in your hands. You might be stake restricted by bookies, in which case you might be down to, I don't know, £6. It's still got, it's got a nice payout if your horse places a smaller value, so £1.23. But make what you can from these stake restricted accounts, basically.
It's another question that if I've been asked once, I've been asked 1,000 times. People say like, "Oh, the qualifying loss is too high." If you find the qualifying loss too high, just lower your stakes down to something that you're more comfortable with. Somebody might only want to risk a £2 qualifying loss on a race, or a £3 qualifying loss. That's fine. Just drop your stakes down till you find something that reaches your parameters and something that you're comfortable with. There's no, we're not forcing you to bet huge amounts. I just bet slightly bigger amounts because I've got a bigger bank, because I've been doing this for donkey's years, and this is simply my favourite offer. Extra places is where I've made 40 to 50% of my match betting earnings, simply because you can do it on gubbed accounts as well. The only gubbed accounts that you can't do it are Parimatch, BetVictor, TalkSport, I think.
Possibly Boyle Sports as well.
Yeah, Boyle Sports is questionable. I mean, you couldn't used to do them, but then people have said like you can. But seeing as my Boyle Sports is dead, I'll never find out.
There's another reason for adjusting your stakes is the liability. So obviously you need to be able to cover the liability if you're laying the win and the place. So
Can I come in with my number one tip?
Yeah, go for it.
Always place your back bet first.
Definitely.
Because sometimes people will rush and they'll place the lay bet first. I need to go back and place the back bet to find out they've been stake restricted at the bookie, or the odds have changed. So number one rule from Andy, and please take note: always place that back bet first. There's a damn good reason why we tell you to do it.
Absolutely. Things can go wrong if you don't do the back bet first. Make sure it's placed correct odds. Make sure you haven't been stake restricted. If you have, then you adjust your calculator to take account of that. So definitely, very good bit of advice.
It's always worth checking in your bet slip as well, because some of the bookies, the devils for doing it, they will cut your price in the slip. So if you're taking a price of say 21 on the bookie using extra place, then just make sure that you have got the actual bet on at 21 with the bookie. It only takes a second to check, but it can stop like massive problems using fixer bets, trying to cash out bets. We're just trying to tell you the way to make it as smooth as humanly possible and cut out all possible errors.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to briefly flick onto this, some people like to do no lay mode, and you get lots of great value bets there. As I said, it's a lot higher variance with this one because you're not laying your bets, and especially when you've got bookie odds of 200 to 1 like this, and 100 to 1 for this one. So great value in it in the long term, but just be really careful with the stakes you're using and consider whether you want to do no lay mode. There's a warning that pops up the first time you have a look at this to explain it, but it's all explained as well in the guides. So most people will be doing full lane mode, I think, probably for this. Okay, so do you want to have a look at some of the offers we've got at the moment on the horse racing? There's some.
Yeah, the first ones again, people they don't. What we can actually do, we'll go through 2 different ways of doing them if you want.
Yep.
because I approach horse refunds completely a different way to how Simon would do it. So we've got three what I would consider really good offers today in the horse refund section. We've got one from LiveScore, one from Sky Bet, and one from Unibet. And basically, the offers, we have got a little video on how I do them in the Facebook group. And literally, all I'm going to look for is a good match in either the first, the second, or the third favourite, because these are the horses that are most likely to fill the offer places. So with LiveScore, it's if your horse comes second or third. I'm pretty sure it's the same with Unibet and Sky. So by picking the favourite, the second favourite, or the third favourite, then these are the horses that are most likely to fill these places. And all I've ever done since day one was just do a straight back and win. So straight back and lay on the wing. No need for an each way place for this for me. I found doing it this way, I probably hit somewhere between 60 and 70% of the refunds. It's been a long time since I've actually tracked how often I hit these refunds, because over the years, and I've been at this for say over 9 years now, I know that I'm well into profit doing them. So it's the only way that I actually do them. But now Simon's going to show you the really clever way where you can lock in a profit every time that you do them. So over to you, mate.
Yeah, so the other way to do it, I mean, I've done both ways, to be honest. I've done the racing refund calculator method to lock in a profit, and I've also done Andy's method. Andy's method in the long term, it's going to be easier to do. You're only backing and laying one, you're laying a pair of bets rather than also laying the place. And the long-term value is going to be higher as well. But if you want to lock in a profit and go, right, I want to get £2 for this bet, I know I'm going to get it, whatever, you can use this one. So let's say you've got the offer we're looking at was this one, the first one, LiveScore bet, horse finishes second or third. You can find your bets using Match Catcher and just set it to what can we set it to?
Sky Bet, Live Bet.
So Match Catcher, it's LiveScore bet, isn't it? So let's have a look. Change filters. We've got LiveScore bet. There we go. So have a look down and we can see some results there. So this one here, 10-11, really nice close odds. What you would do is you'd go and what's the offer for? It's a £10, £10. So go to racing refund calculator, back say £10, and I think, is it refunded?
Second and third.
Free bet, second and third, lovely. So yeah, second and third, that one there, back odds of 10, not 190, can't type. Back odds of 10, lay odds of 11, and the bonus amount is £10. It's a free bet, so I'll say, okay, I can get 80% profit, £8 from a £10 free bet if we get the refund, if it comes second or third. And then you have a look at the place, and so the horse is Zuki. So let's have a look at Matchbook. I'll go to the Exchange Matchbook. Let's see if Matchbook's live again. I had a little bit of a glitch earlier, and we're looking, because it's the second or third place you get the free bet for. We look for the 3-place market, and Zuki 3.85. Now, if you look at the amount of money available underneath, there's not a huge amount. Okay, but I'm going to ignore that for the moment. There's only £3 available there. I'm going to go for 3.85 odds there. If you needed a bit more, you could go for 3.95 odds and just click on that one instead. You can lay the worse odds. And what happens is, let's say you lay £8 at 3.95. They actually lay £5 at 3.95 and the rest at 3.85. There's also sometimes some hidden money there that you can't see. So there might actually be more than £3 available there, various reasons. But let's go for 3.8. Let's assume we're going for 3.85 odds. Assume there's enough money in there. And I'll get the racing refund calculator up, and 3.85. And there we go. So it's not a huge profit with this particular one, because it's not just to do with how close the the win odds are. 10 and 11 is really, really close odds, but obviously the place odds aren't particularly good for this. So you can still look at a profit, but it's only 43p. It's profit, but it's not a huge amount of profit. So yeah, that's how you can lock in a profit. Or you could just back and lay the horse odds of, as Andy says, he goes for this sort of second, third favourite. You might prefer to go for this one here, which is a higher odds horse, the 3 o'clock Newmarket Dark 30. Still a decent one to go for, but probably a better horse to pick, much more likely to end second or third. Well, a little bit more likely than the other horse there. So
yeah, if I was looking at those selections without looking at that race, the one I would be picking is Dark 30. You've got an extra 40p of qualifying loss, but that's more likely. It's just a little bit more likely to finish second and third than the 10 to 1 or so. That would probably be the one I pick. But like I've said, over the years, that's been way more profitable than doing the lock-in method. But it's horses for courses. If you want to lock in that profit, that's the way to do it.
Not sure if I got that right. That's incredibly good odds. So Dark 30, 2.7 place odds, and the odds on Matchcatcher are 6.5 and 7.4. Is that right for the place odds? They're pretty good. Dark 30, yeah, 2.7. 2.7 Racing Reef and Calculator. That's a really good profit for this one. I don't think I've missed anything there, have I, Andy?
No, it's all good to me.
It isn't. Backstake 10. Hang on. Backstake £10. Back odds are not 10. I changed the wrong thing. 6.5. There we go. So I got the backstake of the back. I changed the wrong thing. Apologies. I thought that looked way too good to be true. 66p. So you can squeeze a bit more profit from that one. So Andy was right. It's a better one to go for. If it looks better on the Racing Refund Calculator, it's going to be better if you're just backlay and hope, as Andy likes to do. So that's how the Racing Refund Calculator works anyway, if you wanted to lock in a bit of profit.
Now, I think we've actually got a boatload of questions to get through here, mate. Yeah. I know. Do you want to pick the first one?
Yeah, go for it. So let's have a look. So just a little bit of a feedback here. So I'm seeing overall odds filter soon to save time on finding lucky 15s in that range. That would. I'm not sure how easy it is to implement these because I'm not on the tech team myself. But yeah, overall odds filter would be a nice thing to have. So maximum of 50,000 odds, for example. So it stops any others coming in. I'm sure that will be suggested, but we can certainly pass that on.
I know the dev team. They have got a lot of suggestions that they are trying to bring in. Pretty much every time somebody said something to me on Facebook, I've put it to the dev team, and they've said, "Yeah, that's a good idea. We're going to try and implement that." So there's no such thing as a bad idea. If you've got any ideas for us, drop them on Facebook or drop them to the CS team, and either I'll drop them, drop it to the dev team, or the CS team will, because like I said, there's no such thing as a bad idea.
Yeah, and we do actually listen. Anything that's any sort of feedback we get, we pass it on. And if if it's decided it's going to be a positive change, then we try to implement it if we can. So yeah, we absolutely do this.
I'm pretty sure the save facility for the lucky 15s that's pretty much that's pretty close. I know that's going to be the next thing to be added, which is going to save me quite a bit of writing, writing things down. That'll be brilliant when that comes in.
Yeah, so quick question here. Is Lucky Finder just for the pro sub? It is, yeah. So you would need a pro subscription for Lucky Finder. So the pro tools, you've got Lucky Finder, Extra Place Master, 2Up Master, and Price Boost Tracker. So those are the ones. And thanks for Adam for chipping in there with the answers to that one.
I've got more mate here. Look, Phil. It's a 50 to 1/4 Extra Place. Lovely. Well done, mate.
Very good. It can happen. Yeah. If you have a look, just have a look at Racing Post to see how often you get the higher odds horses finishing in these relatively high places. Well, the extra place basically we're looking at.
As my good friend used to say, a horse doesn't know its odds on where it's supposed to finish.
Yeah,
and that's very true. And it's especially this time of the season. It's the end of the flat. Sorry, it's the end of the jump season. It's the start of the flat season. So you're always going to get weirdly high-priced horses either winning or placing in races because they haven't been. They're either at the end of a long season or they're at the start of the season where they've been off 4, 5, 6 months. And the only people that really know what's happened to these horses in the last 6 months are the trainers. Especially going back to Lucky 15s, I really wouldn't be put off by having a 66 or 100 to 1 shot in a race where there was paying 6 or 7 places. It really wouldn't put me off in the slightest, because the amount of times I've seen it happen on early season flat races, it's like counting up the blades of grass in your garden. It happens that regular.
Yeah. So yeah, any other questions we've got then? There you go.
Can you talk more about removing horses? I'd do it 5 to 6 Luckies, 15s, and then start running out of options. Can I really use the same horses? Like I said earlier, it just depends on how many Lucky 15s you're doing. If you're doing a handful, say anything under 7 or 8, I might put the same horse in two Lucky 15s. I really don't want it in every Lucky 15, simply because if it didn't place or didn't win or didn't place, then that takes a winning potential out of all of those Lucky 15 bets. If I restrict it to two Lucky 15s for one particular horse, then even if it falls down, it doesn't win, it doesn't place, whatever, I've still got 5 Lucky 15s where I could hit that big win. The ones where the horse hasn't placed, I can still make money on them. I'm just thinking more about the bigger picture, and it's in that bigger win that's going to take you on holiday to the Maldives, which I keep on trying to do every day. And I do mention it in my morning post every day. But I'm still here, so the tickets have not yet been booked.
Yeah, with the removing horses as well, what you could do is you're only really removing horses so that you don't reuse the same ones loads of times with the same bookie. You can go to another bookie and use the same horses, but I believe I've just been playing with it at the moment. The removed horses filter removes the horses from Lucky Finder itself. So let's say you're doing probably the best way to do is to do one bookmaker and do all of your Lucky 15 bets on there, remove the horses as and when you decide to, maybe when you've used them twice in a Lucky 15, as Andy says. Then if you go to another bookie, clear the removed horses from your removed horses list so that they will show up again for the new bookie, because you can use them again with the new bookmaker, no problem at all. And then you can remove them again for that, move on to the next bookie, for example. So basically, if you remove loads of horses when you're doing Sky Bet, and then you go to, I don't know, BetMGM, I'm just looking at the moment, then the horses will still be removed, and you don't want them to be. So you can go to the removed horses filter and just remove them there. Remove the horses from the removed horses filter, delete them, basically.
This is a good one. ITV7, could you show how, please? No. It's not a match. It's not a match betting thing, but I can tell you how to do it. Realistically, all you got to do on the ITV7, and when I say all you've got to do, is just pick all 7 winners, and that is a lot easier said than done. But it's just a case of logging in, and they'll put the races up there for you. You pick a winner every race. You get entered into the prize draw. You hit all 7 winners. You either win the pot or a share of the pot. I'm not saying it's not worth doing. It's a free game. It's free for everybody to enter. It's like the lottery. You got to buy a ticket to be able to win it. Your chance is going to be slight, but I wouldn't put you off from doing it because I see winners on Saturday most weeks who've won 50,000, 100,000. I think the biggest pot they had over Cheltenham was a £250,000 one. So it is just a case of logging into ITV7, picking the horses that you think are going to win. Simple as.
That's it, David. Just pick 7 winners, and then if you could tell us the winners as well, that'd be really appreciated, and we'll we'll pick the same ones. But yeah, it's, as Andy says, much easier said than done. Lawrence made a good point here. Yeah, so if you have annual membership to Diamond or Platinum, and you just wanted to add the Pro Tools, then you can just pay £50 just to add the Pro Tools. So let's say you've got an annual membership, runs from March to March, and it's July. You could still you can upgrade to, you can add the Pro standalone tools for £50 a month on top of your existing subscription. It's a great way of adding the tools to try them out, maybe. And then, yeah, so in July you'd have a monthly subscription. You have to have both, so you can't just have the Pro £50 per month. It has to be alongside an annual subscription you've got with either Platinum or Diamond. So yeah, thanks, Lawrence. It's a good option for certainly testing it out. The long term, if you decide to stay, you might prefer to have a look out for one of our sales that we have throughout the year. Sometimes monthly sales and annual sales for Pro, it tends to be. So look out for those as well, or you can just sign up annually, or anyway to save some money.
Nice question in by Fergus. Do removed horses remove them forever, or can they appear another day? They do appear. So you're only removing them from that day's racing. So even if in a very, very rare circumstance that a horse was racing on 2 days, if a trainer's trying to pull a fast one, it would appear. But most horse races, they're always going to have a minimum break of a week, 10 days, if not more, anything like 2 weeks to a month. So the answer to that one is they do appear back in the Lucky 15 Finder.
Yeah, lovely. I think we've wrapped up all the questions.
And we're amazingly only 1 minute and 59 seconds over time, which for us is somewhat of a miracle.
We could fill the next 5 minutes with a bit of waffle and saying goodbye, but we'll try not to. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. Apologies if you, as I said, if you're watching this on the replay or you were trying to follow us on Facebook and had to go to YouTube. Apologies if you haven't been able to join us on our Facebook page. We'll try to get it sorted and have a bit of a test of it just to make sure this works. It's a very recent change there that Facebook have put in that's made it a bit more difficult for
damn you, Zuckerberg.
any sort of sites like this to stream live to Facebook. Who knows why? But anyway, that's what's happened. There are ways around it, and we're trying to work out ways around it. In the meantime, you can, as I said, follow us on YouTube. You can catch us on the catch-up channels and the forum. I always link these the recordings of these basically recorded on StreamYard. Or you can contact us on Facebook or on customer support, and we can tell you where to find them. So I think
I'm sure this new little problem is going to keep Gary confused and employed for a couple of days, but we'll find a way around it. We always do.
Gary's up for a challenge.
Always up for a challenge. But for now, sadly, it's goodbye from me. Goodbye, everybody. Best of luck today.
Goodbye from me. All the best as well. Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one. See you, everybody. Bye-bye.